Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Clyde's Corner, episode 1. That's right, we're calling it Clyde's Corner. Starting from the roots, this will be broadcasted on Spotify. The full podcast will be live on my YouTube channel when we publish it, either tomorrow or Monday. So expect them to be up by Sunday or Monday. This podcast will be every Saturday, starting at 6 p.m. Eastern to 8. Also, what else did I forget? Oh, we want to thank Get Wrecked Labs for making this nice scene for us. You guys know that you can head over to Get Wrecked Labs website and use code Clyde at checkout for 20% off your orders. We're actually going to be talking about them more in future videos, so it's code Clyde at checkout. Easy dub. Want to appreciate and thank Gamer Subs for always hooking us up with free samples and cool new stuff and new shakers and black cherry flavor. Code Clyde at checkout there, and also powergpu.com. Need a PC, head on over to Clyde checkout over there as well, and get any PC you ever need. I'm actually going to shut down my game in the background because I had it on. So, the reason I started this podcast is because also I want people to listen in on Spotify, and I want people to be able to watch on YouTube and watch on Twitch, and for me to bond with my community more. I've always found ways of me helping people through the destiny every single day, and sometimes we just sit around and do nothing. We'll just sit in the tower and just talk. But sometimes I think it's right for me to pay attention to chat and just stop worrying about stream. So I wanted to do something like this and kind of have topics each week to talk about. We'll do Q&A, also some hot takes. As long as we're not breaking TOS, I really don't give a shit what we say. So if people are listening right now and they're a little soft on that sponge meter 7 and you weren't raised the right way, I'd get the fuck out, because this place ain't for you. We ain't got time for your little bitch ass shit. So yeah, we're coming out firing right off the fucking get-go. You know what I'm saying? We don't tolerate childish behavior around here, and that's why we got one of the best Discord servers out there. You join my Discord, and 35,000 plus in there. Number one rule, don't be a shitter. We ain't got time for that. I've worked my ass off since February 21st, 2016, and we don't need people interrupting that grind. So, for this first episode, we're going to talk about where it all started. How I started streaming. What I've accomplished over the years. How I found a way to keep pushing myself on doing it, and maybe some tips and tricks along the way to help you maybe get your journey started. And also, you know, share my journey with my community and kind of let them know how I started out, and you might learn something new about me. So, when I first started hearing about Twitch, obviously it was before February 21st of 2016. What first got me into gaming a lot, obviously back in the day when I was younger, I was the kid that you hated. I used to hide games at Blockbuster behind the movies that no one rented. Yes, that was me. So if you went in Blockbuster and you went to go rent a game that just came out, I hid it from you. That was me. Because I didn't have the money. And when I did get the money, I'd go, do the thing and go rent it. But I was always into videos and games when I was younger, but my parents just always told me, hey, get off the video games, go play outside. And I pretty much went outside every day and didn't come back in until the lights, street lights came on. And I was told at a young age, hey, video games is a waste of time. It's not a career. Well, look what we're doing now. I really was on the OG originals. I started with Atari. I'm showing my age here, but I really didn't play Atari much. But Nintendo, Super Mario Brothers, Duck Hunt, we all know those classics. Then you got the Nintendo 64 and Sega Dreamcast. Countless games, countless hours. PlayStation I really got into. Crash Bandicoot, all those games. GoldenEye, Driver, Need for Speed, you name it. We're not going to go through the whole journey there, but you guys kind of know the deal. But when I got out of the service, I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life, I bounced from job to job. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I started doing construction. I started doing sales. I worked in sales for a while. I actually sold some cars for a while. I did good. And then I went into construction, was bouncing around. I had no clue what I wanted to do with my life. I started partying a lot. I mean, I partied my ass off. I was drinking 5 days a week. And the 2 days a week I wasn't drinking. I was just hanging out with friends and recuperating, you know, all the abuse you did on your body. So when I started taking life a little seriously, I started doing construction. I got in the bricklayers union. I started bouncing around job site to job site. I started traveling. I would leave Monday. I wouldn't come back home until Friday or Saturday. Sometimes I get home Thursday, but you know, the traveling life sucked. It wasn't fun, but again, you know, I didn't want to be around, and you know, I was 25 years old at the time, and I'm like, what the fuck are you doing with your life? You know, you're 25 and you don't have your shit together, you know? And when I started actually, you know, getting good paid jobs and started working my way up the union, you know, I actually became a shift leader, or you can just say like a superintendent if you want to get technical. And then I started getting advice on that you should get your GC license, because I was sick of working for people and getting laid off, or sometimes I get screwed over on a paycheck. They'd be like, hey, we'll pay in a couple days. Like, no. I need that money now. Like, chief, where are you at? And I got sick of working for people. So I ended up becoming a GC, got my GC license, got all the permits, got everything, because that's all people care about. It was the permits, you know, just get the pieces of paper that you can show, you know? So I said, I don't want to work for the man no more. I want to be the man, you know. I want to start my own gig. But I didn't have the money to do it. You know, all my money was tied up in cost of living, everything else. And I literally just said, hey, I don't know what to do. So I went to the banks. And I said, hey, I want to start a landscaping business. And they laughed at me and they said, we're not giving you no loan. And I was just like, why? You know, they're just like, hey, you know, you can't show profit, you know, the money's not going to be worth it, you know, blah, 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 blah. They gave me every run around, like, why you can't, you know. That's another thing that's happened to me my whole life. I've always been told no. I've always been said, you can't do that. You know, everything that I've tried in life growing up, people always said, you can't do it. You're not going to be able to do it. You're not going to succeed. So I was kind of like, you know, it was very challenging. And so I made a deal with myself to just dig all the money I had together and just go all in. I took every penny I had and I invested it into the company. I had $5 left and I bought myself dinner that night. I bought Subway. The next day I went and handed out flyers for 12 hours. Didn't get a single call. Did it again the next day. Did it again the next day. Did it again the next day. No calls. Finally got one call. Got a job. Small job. It was only about $250, $300, but guess what? That was mine. Did it one day, made $300. I'm like, all right, move on to the next one. Got another phone call. Got another phone call. Kept doing it. I bought the equipment as I went. If I didn't need it, I never bought it. And I kept grinding. And I started that from the bottom up. And I was always told, hey, you're working too hard. Hey, you're not trying hard enough. You know, you're not going to succeed. You know, everyone around your area has a truck and everyone wants their own company. You're never going to make it. You know, give up now. I swear to God. And I was just kind of like, man, why do people just want to quit? Because that quitter mentality is just really not my thing. You know, I have this slogan that I follow in my stream is never surrender, never give up. I don't care what anybody tells you. You know, you don't have to explain yourself to anybody. That's one thing that I learned over the years of streaming. You don't need to explain yourself to anybody. Because if they don't like you, fuck them. Fuck everybody, dude. This world is just so soft and it's full of pussies. And I don't care if people down me for calling people soft. You weren't raised right and you're on some bitch shit and you sit behind your fucking keyboards and you're Timmy, Tommy, Tough Nuts. It don't matter. You put a name on it. People are just soft. Like you literally think that you got the whole world figured out because you sit behind your computer and you just run your mouth. Out in the real world, in the streets, in the goddamn street smarts, we know you're a rat. We know you're a fucking bitch and you ain't changing us. You want to know why? Because you're pretenders. You know what pretenders are. They walk the walk, but they don't talk it. Just because you put a tight t-shirt on and you think you're tough, it doesn't make you tough. You still got a glass jaw. But again, you know, we're not promoting violence or anything, but motherfuckers know. They know this. They get checked real quick. Because we've seen it, and I've seen it over the years. People just act so tough, and then you see them in person, and they're like, hey, man, let me fucking suck it right now. Just ready to gargle it. It's like, okay. As long as no one finds out. Anyways, I went down a bad path. So I started working at a bar. I used to be a club promoter. I was the guy that people would see. People would see at the club, and I would get you a table. I'd get you drinks. I'd get you whatever. You want shots? I got you shots. You want a VIP table? I got you a VIP table. You want girls? I'll get you girls. You want dudes? I get you dudes. Get you whatever. You know what I'm saying? I was the guy that made sure you had a good time. And I got paid a lot of money to go there every night. And I got paid to, you know, tip by people that had a good night. And it was a dangerous job because I was just partying all the time. So if I wasn't partying, I was trying to keep up with the business and try and keep it growing. And I was struggling. I was struggling so hard. Man, I just looked at life. I looked at my friends getting older, and I seen everybody getting married and having kids, and the fun started decreasing, and people stopped having fun. I mean, even till this now, like I can't stand how some of my friends are married and they just sit around. They don't do anything with their life, and then you literally let them out the cage. Like my best friend, you literally take them out, and it's like letting a puppy dog out the cage. They just run around nonstop, just hyper. It's like, that's not healthy for you. Live your life. Like, I'm 35. I'm looking now, I feel like I was 21 last year. You just sit around and don't do nothing. A blink of a finger, it's gone, you know? And my job now tames me because I needed that. I needed to be tamed. I needed to be taken out of that lifestyle. I used to party. I mean, I've lived it up. The shit I've done, I've partied with celebrities. I've been on boats with Joe Gervais, Brady Quinn, their parents fishing. Like, there's Kim Kardashian hangouts, MGK, Justin Bieber, you name it. I've done some cool stuff. Fishing. I've been on boats at a party with Joe Hayden, Browns players, Indians players, Guardians players. But, I've done all that. I've partied it. You know, I've seen it all. And I couldn't get out of that frame. Because when I started playing video games again, I got in a bad car accident. I forgot what year it was. Maybe 7 years ago on Christmas, I think. I can't remember. But I got in a bad car accident. It was on Christmas. We went out for drinks. My buddy was sober. The driver was sober. Everybody else, not so sober. He was going 10 miles an hour, and we were in a Trailblazer. And all of a sudden, we hit a sheet of ice after the stop sign. The car spun. Tree hit my door. I broke my right shoulder from the tree hitting my door, and I broke my left shoulder from hitting my best friend. Both of my shoulders were broken. I busted 2 ribs, and what freaked me out is when they put me on the stretcher, they said, we think you have a collapsed lung. That paired me out. I was really paranoid. I thought that I had a collapsed lung, so I started breathing real heavy. And I was very paranoid. And when I got put on that stretcher, I'll tell you what, 2 broken shoulders when you get laid down flat, that doesn't feel good either. Thank God I was drunk. The doctor even told me when he came in, he said, good thing you were drinking. You'd be in a lot of pain right now. But yeah, so I had time off work, and that's when I started playing COD, and I was all into video games. And when I was younger, I used to play COD, and I actually used to play on we were like 13 years old, and we drive around Ohio and maybe go to PA a couple times. We actually did some tournament team stuff. It was kind of cool. It was Black Ops 1 days. Like, we used to just drive the tournaments, think we were cool. Like, the prize money wasn't much. It was like $100. I think the biggest pot we ever seen was $500, and you split it between like 6 players, 3 players. I can't remember. It was so long ago, but it was just basic stuff, but it was cool. We thought we were cool. We had a clan, you know, chopper gunners. We were fighting over it. Dogs, you know, you name it. It was, you know, you guys know, you know, we were all bred a different way with Modern Warfare 2 lobbies, you know. You know, but I wasn't young. No, sorry. I repeat that. I wasn't that young. I was like 20 something. Whenever Black Ops 1 came out, I can't remember. Again, so long ago. Ignore the boomer thoughts. But anyways, when we were younger kids, we used to do, you know, little stuff like that. And we used to do like Halo stuff, LAN parties, stuff like that. When Halo came out, stuff like that, you know. Sorry, I mixed those two scenarios up. I'm trying to go back. I'm trying to go way back and explain everything here. So when I was injured and I was stuck at home, I had nothing to do, you know. Both of my arms were in slings and I couldn't do anything. So I could hold a controller. So I would start playing games, and I got into Call of Duty Ghost Ascension. Me and my best friend Rob were playing Ascension, and we went on this boat. I forgot the map name, but we fought a Kraken. It was cool. We fought a Kraken, and it was dope. It was a big Kraken at the end. We put down turrets and just sprayed guns, and it was dope. It was, you know, I had so much fun. It was Extinction, yeah. And it had so much fun. Like, I was having a blast. We used to no-life this stuff. You know, people would join up, and they'd be like, oh, we can't do this with you guys. We're like, hey, just sit aside. We'll low-man it for you. And they would. They'd just sit on the side, and me and Rob would two-man it. You know, it was cool. I think it was called Mayday or something. But those were the days they, like, got me into gaming. I'm like, oh, dude, running these multiplayer games are kind of fun, like the PvE stuff. So I started going back to work, stopped playing games. I literally stopped playing games. I told myself, hey, I can't game. I can't play video games. You know, I got to work for a living. You know, I always wanted my shit together. I always had nice stuff. I always had a nice car. I always had nice stuff. I had a nice house. I needed to, you know, make money. And, you know, the side hustle, street smarts that are around now, you know, such as the shoe game or the graphics cards or the consoles or the resell game, you know, that stuff wasn't around back then. Some stuff, but not like it is today. And so I started grinding, working again, started drinking more. And Rob's like, hey, man, I started playing Destiny. I think you'd like this game. And I'm like, all right, I'll come over and check it out. So I go over there and watch him play it. I was like, this looks stupid. Swear to God. I said, this game looks dumb. And he was showing me Crota. Crota just came out. And he's like, hey, man, I want you to check this game out. Please check it out. You know, we'll game share it. So he game shared it with me. So the next week I play, you know, I made a Warlock. Warlock was my first character. And then I played on the Warlock for a little bit, leveled it up to level, I think 28. And then I started playing on Hunter. And I really liked the Blink Hunter. I was the Blink Shotgunner in D1 in PvP. I started playing PvP on my Hunter, and I had fun with that, you know. And then I went back to the Warlock, and I was like, I'm going to raid on the Warlock. You know, what do we got to do for this raid? And Rob got a team together, and we went through Vault of Glass, and I was dead every encounter. I was dead. Literally every encounter. I had no clue what was going on. They're making all these call outs. I'm like, I don't know what to do. Like, what am I? Oh, you're fine. Just stand there in the corner. You're good. Just stand there, you know. And I was like, all right, I'm just gonna chill, you know. You're just getting our way. You're just gonna get in our way. So I started trying in encounters, but I would die. And we got the gatekeeper, and I'm like, all right, are we fighting the boss yet? They're like, yeah, this is Atheon, you know, it's game time. And I'm like, all right, what do I got to do? They're like, we're going to give you the relic, and you're going to hold the relic, and you're going to block with it so we can damage. I'm like, all right, I got an important job. So they hand me the relic right before damage, and they're like, block. Clyde swung, ladies and gentlemen. Clyde swung the relic, and Clyde took the relic off the map because we were damaging from the middle, and down goes Clyde and wiped the team. And they started screaming at me, you idiot, we told you to block. You know, I'm like, I didn't know. Like, I got this little controller in my hand. I don't know. What am I supposed to do? Oh, well, let's try it again. If he doesn't get it this time, we're just gonna let him die, and we'll just do it. I'm like, all right. So they gave me the relic again, and I got it down. I blocked. We got the kill. And a shiny gold object was up there. I walked up to it, and I said, what is Vex Mythoclast? And they started screaming, this is bullshit. I can't believe he just got it. Yada, yada, yada. It was bad. I got it first try. And I took it into PvP, started shooting people with it. I'm like, wow, this thing's nuts. It runs these people over. It was toxic to use. So I told Rob, I'm like, hey man, I had fun, but I'm done. I can't be playing video games. I got to go back to work. So I went back to work, and I had some free time a few months later, and I'm like, hey man, let's do that other raid, that Crota one. So he's like, yeah, let's do Crota. So let's get you leveled up. We're gonna get you leveled up. We're gonna take you in. I'm like, all right, cool. Let's hit it. So we go in on Crota. We find a team. Rob does the solo lamps on a hunter with don't touch me's. I was like, oh, that's cool, man. He's just soloing everything. Like, man, that's cool. Like the solos and the low mans were really like intriguing to me. And we get the Death Singers, and they explain to me what's going on. Because they just sorted across. They pulled the team. They skipped the whole Crota. Crota's like a strike. But we get the Death Singers right before Crota, and they're like, hey, you got to do this, and this, and this. And Rob was just like, hey, follow me, man, and shoot your gun, don't die. I'm like, all right, I'll focus on the knights, shriekers, let's do what we got to do. We beat the Death Singers, and a gold object dropped again. And everybody knows what I'm about to say. That was Gallahorn. Yeah. So not only did I get lucky in the first run, I got lucky on the second one. And everyone knows that Gallahorn was sold by Xur anyway, but I wasn't around that time. And they left. The fire team left the fire team. Everybody left. They're like, screw this guy. He's a noob. He doesn't even have clears. He doesn't deserve the gun. We're out. That's how D1 was. They were like, hey, screw this shit. We're out of here. And I was like, okay, Rob, what do we do? He's like, I'm just gonna invite someone, and you two stand up there, and we'll just low man this. We'll just low man this. So we ended up getting 2 other people to join. It's 4 people. He's like, you guys stand up there, shoot your rockets. I'll down Crota. I'll beat him up. And Rob was really good at it. He was max level, so he did the one sword, and absolutely just annihilated Crota. Rob was actually doing help runs on LFG, and he actually did runs on Reddit. Like, people used to talk about my friend Rob. They're like, hey, there's this guy on PlayStation. He's going around helping people with Crota. He's like an excellent sword bearer. He doesn't mess up. Hit this guy up. Like, it was kind of funny. But Rob didn't know what Reddit was, and Rob didn't know what Twitch was. None of us did. We had no idea. So after that, I kind of played the game for probably another few days, and I put it down again. I'm like, I got to go work. I ended up growing my business up to plus 200 accounts. And I was busy, I was trying to make it. I was always told no. Some people said stop. You can't do this. You can't do this. You're not gonna make it. And that really fueled me to push harder, because I don't like failing. I don't like failing at anything in life. I'm not made that way. I'm not programmed that way to fail. I'll do whatever I can, to keep that drive. But here comes the King's Fall trailer on TV at night, and I see it, and I see that Titan get that hammer in his hand. Everyone remembers that commercial and that trailer, and I was like, yo, the tingles are going up my arm. I need to play it. Oh, I'm ready. I'm like, yo, Rob, that Taken King's coming out. I want to play. He's like, yeah, man, I'm getting it. Let's play. Yeah. Well, King's Fall comes out, and I didn't play. I was busy, of course. Either drinking or working, I didn't care. So I was about a month late to the party. And when I signed on, Rob told me, he said, get your warlock, self-res, do your thing. Keep self-res on. You need to get to level 270 to do a nightfall. I'm like, okay. So I grinded. When I tell you I grinded to 270 in one day. Maybe 2. Probably 2. So I grinded up to 270, and I hit up Rob. I'm like, hey man, I'm 270. Let's do a nightfall. So we do a nightfall. I get destroyed. I couldn't even stay alive. I'm like, this content's so freaking hard. What am I supposed to do? And then we did a couple other level up things, and I got to 275. And Rob's like, all right, tomorrow night we're gonna do this raid called King's Fall. I'm like, all right, I'll be there. So I finish work, come home, rush home fast as I can, and we do this King's Fall raid. And when I tell you I set the world record for most self-reses and most deaths in one raid, I'm not kidding. I was dead every single minute. I was always dead. I was always dead. Every time we beat an encounter, I was dead. I didn't understand the game. I just, I didn't understand what to do. Like I'm sitting there again. I was a slosh, man. I was just drinking, partying. I didn't care. I didn't pay attention to video games. I was just like, I don't need to pay attention. I'm playing with these guys. They're good, And yeah, it was tough. When I was torn between dimensions at Daughters, I jump off. They told me jump off the map, self-res. I'm like, oh god. All right, I'm holding it. Like in D1, they made sure that they let you know that you were holding the team back. It's your fault. Today when I help people in raids, they're like, oh, I'm sorry I messed up. And I'm like, no, it's okay. You're learning. In D1, they're like, yeah, it's your fault, dumbass. Fix your shit, or we're gonna hit that kick the fire team button right now. And I didn't know what the hell was going on, and we beat it. And I was like, oh, cool, man. We beat it. Let's go. And then me and Rob, we started doing. We started playing together more because I had more free time. I actually started making time so I could play video games. And when I actually sat there and understood what I had to do, we found Court of Oryx. And when we found the Court of Oryx, I'm like, dude, Rob, this is cool. And like people were messaging us. They're like, yo, you guys are high level. Let's go. Like, can you help us? Can you help us do a tier 3 right now? And I had my Boltcaster. Boltcaster was the first sword I ever got. Everyone knows about farming D1 swords. It was physically almost impossible to get unless you were ready to put that time in and do the quest and sit on the planets and farm 250 planetary materials. It was tough. It was annoying, but we did. I actually did all 3. So I had the Boltcaster and Rob had the Raise Lighter. He had the Solar Sword. So everyone's like, oh, with these... Me and Rob would just be like, yo, guys, put the token in and watch what's about to happen. We would just, me and him, with 2-man, it would beat every boss, just destroy them, And it was dope. And I started getting bored. I started getting bored of that Warlock. And Rob's like, hey, man, every weekend we got time. Let's keep helping people through this Court of Oryx. I'm like, all right, I'm in. Well, I got bored one day and I made the Titan. Because Rob told me, he's like, you should make a Titan to have all 3 characters. And I did that Sunbreaker mission. That was it. That was it. That was it for me. I ran that mission 10 times, I swear. I failed it on purpose. I just wanted to like sit in that moment of getting that Sunbreaker super and just eating it up. I'm like, this is my play style. Like, just go punch. Remember, Melting Point was a punch back then. Like, so you just punch stuff and then you hit it with shotguns and just, man, run up, punch a boss, rocketed it, like it was dope. And I was like, yo, this is my Titan. And Rob was like, yo, yeah, Titan's good. You can be the bubble guy. I said, well, you could be the bubble guy. You could put on weapons of light. You could put on blessings of light. You could put on armor of light. Like, run whatever you want. Like, you could be the support guy. And I'm like, yeah, let's get off this Warlock. I don't like that self-res. Because I stopped using self-res and I started using Song of Flame so I could spam nades and do some crazy DPS stuff. Because I'm like, dude, self-res, like, it seems kind of weak, Like, you use it as a, hey, I can res. All the Warlocks did it. And I did it too. But, I really started understanding how the Titan played. And I'm like, I like this Titan. And then Twilight Garrison. And, man, when I was introduced to that, I'm like, man, what can I do with this Titan? And there was 2 players that I watched play that Titan. It was Tfue and it was Gabriel. Tfue was on some crazy stuff. That dude was nuts. That's when, all the Redeem stuff happened and was created. And Tfue was sword flying across the King's Fall ships. And I'm like, how do I do that? I watched that video 20 times and then I learned how to do it. And then I watched Gabriel Titan skate in PvP. And this dude was faster than the speed of light. He was so fast that you couldn't keep up with him. You couldn't aim at the guy. He was that fast. It was impressive to see. So I learned how to move with the Titan, and I understood how to, kind of maneuver around. And then I started realizing what it's like to Titan skate into walls and die. Yeah, that happened a lot, just like we do now. Yeah, his name was AE Gabriel. And we do that now with Eager's Edge, But what really separated me was I started seeing how well that the classes work together. Rob was on his Warlock, I was on my Titan. It was really cool how we both kind of had that symmetry by using different classes. And I say this all the time now, to use different classes and, you know, play together as a unit. So I started grinding this hard. Rob stopped playing because he ended up being busy with work, and he started dating a girl, and, you know, we all know relationships can pull you away from the grind unless they're into that too. So I started grinding a lot, and I learned what LFG was. I would wake up at 3 a.m. on Tuesday and do reset raids in the morning. We'd all sit at the vaulted glass reset chest, or we'd do King's Falls right before work that day on Tuesdays, because reset used to be 4 or 5 a.m. for me. So we would do those reset raids on Tuesday morning before work. Couple of groups I'd join up, they'd kick me. And to this day, they'll come in a chat and they'll be like, "Hey man, I remember raiding with you back in D1 LFG. I think we kicked you." I'm like, "Yeah, probably." It was something. But then I came across a team where we did King's Fall in like 50 minutes, no wipes. Like, we were actually having fun, just talking, getting around, and just chilling. And I'm like, "Hey guys, you know, we kind of smoked this raid. We should game. That we should make a team." And they're like, "Yeah, that's so cool. You know, we should do it." Yeah. So we made our team. And I had some COD buddies, and I had some other friends too that started playing Destiny, and like, we had backups. And it was old school names. I mean, these guys were like Devil, oh god, Death Angel, Susie, Busarai. He had a Hayabusa. Old school names, like old school names. I had some COD buddies that we used to play with us. We had about a group of 10, so we made a clan, and we were called Kick You in the Cabals. Kick You in the Cabals was our clan name. I thought of it. I know, we're 12. So I started doing LFG raids more, and I started understanding what LFG raids were, and I started playing more and playing more and playing more, and I started realizing when I go through these LFG posts that people that didn't have a lot of experience had this tone with you, and they'd be like, "I don't know what I'm doing. Are you sure I can stay?" Like, they had this voice where they were scared to play with you, and I was like, why are people intimidated by people online? You know, like me, I was raised different, you know, where I was raised, suburbs of Cleveland, in my times, like, if you talked the wrong way to someone, you were getting jacked up, like lifted up, shaken up, bang bang. It was game time, you know. And people were so like soft when I was playing D1, and you would just go into a voice chat, "Are you sure I can stay?" It's like, where's your balls? Like, what the fuck? Who gives a shit how people act online? Like, motherfucker, I'm me. You're talking to the lion. Like, mother, you come at me the wrong way, I'm gonna fucking shit down your throat. Literally, I don't care. But you know how it is. People act tough, and they want to act all Tommy Tough Nuts online. But you know, I'm standing proof. Anyone dumb enough to fuck with me, go for it. You know, go for it. Green light. Just let me have someone hold the camera and physically record someone hurting me or actually physical assaulting me so I don't get sued. Green light. That's green. One day. We're not promoting violence, but you know what I'm saying. One day the green guy can come play. But anyways, I was just like, I was so lost. Like, why are people acting like this? And I started hearing that, oh, well, if you don't have experience, you can't do raids, you know? And I was like, wait, what? Like, I learned you can too. So what I would learn to do is I would take me and the crew, and we go message people in the tower. We'd raid report them. We'd find people that didn't really know how to raid, and we'd ask them to come raid with us. Like, hey, you want to go through the new raid? You want to go through King's Fall? I can. I'm not high enough. I'm not. Come on. We'll take you through. And we used to do that all the time. Okay. And one day, my buddy hit me up and he said, "Hey man, you got to join us on Oryx. We're struggling bad right now. And there's this girl here, and she's yelling at everybody. She's screaming." I'm like, "Oh, okay. Got it." So I joined this raid, and I was introduced to Dina. Yeah. Dina does Destiny, and she was in there yelling. She was yelling. She had a mouth, and she was yelling at all these guys, you know, giving them shit. And I'm like, yo, that's kind of, you know, I like it. Like, yeah, you know, she's getting on their ass, you know, get them. Don't take that shit. You know, I was pumped up. I'm like, okay, what's the problem here? And she's like, oh, they're not killing their knights. They're not, you know, they're wanting to do no knight strat. They're not killing their ogres. They're not cross shooting their knights. And I'm like, all right, you know, so I adjusted people on the plates. I'm like, crouch right here on the plate. You won't get shot. Shoot your ogre, throw a nade, look for your knight, one shot them, bing, bang, boop. Ended up, we got a second try, but I was calling out the plays, you know, I was the coach. And Dina said something to me. She's like, hey, you know, nice to meet you, but that was impressive, you know, like we were struggling and you just came in and called the shots and we got a second try. You should do this thing on Twitch. I'm like, what is Twitch? I don't even know. You know? I'm like, well, I don't know what that is. You know what YouTube is? Yeah, I know what YouTube. Well, there's this thing where you can stream and you can stream on Twitch. And I'm like, okay, for what? Well, you could stream on Twitch and people could watch you and you can grow a community and, you know, you can make some money out of it if you're successful. If you're successful, you know, not a lot of people can make it, yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, I'm a grown, you know, I was in douchebag mode. I was like, I'm a grown ass man. You know, I got my company, you know, I got to make money. I ain't got time for these video games, you know. I wasn't a believer, but I looked it up and I looked up what Twitch was. And the first stream I turned on was Gathalion. Found out he was world's first King's Fall, you know, and Slayer Rage and Gathalion were the first people that I actually like tuned into and was kind of see what was going on. And I immediately made an account and I learned that you can hit start streaming on the PlayStation button. You could just hit start streaming on the PlayStation and you could stream from PlayStation on Twitch. And I was like, okay, maybe I should try this. Because we started having the problem where I would log on to Twitch, or I'd log on to the game and there was too many people in the voice channel. We couldn't hold that many people in the voice channel on PlayStation. So I was like, if I stream on Twitch, maybe when people get online, they could just come into my stream and say, hey, Clyde, I'm down to raid. Because that's what people would do. They come into, like when I started streaming, I had the comments on the screen. I have to, when I move, I will find my old PlayStation hard drive. It's in this closet with a lot of stuff, but I'll pull that hard drive out and I'll show you screenshots of my old stream. I literally had the little green Hulk guy, the icon, and I had chat on screen, and it was a PlayStation live stream. It was funny. So when we started streaming, I had no clue what I was doing. I didn't run a cam. I didn't have anything. I would just talk. I had my laptop was about 4 months into streaming. So at first I started reading chat off a tablet. It was an old tablet. Like it was like one of the first tablets that ever came out. It was bad. Sometimes I'd read chat off my phone. So the first month of streaming was just tough. Like the only people that came in were the people that knew that was on my friends list on PlayStation. And then I brought my work computer home, my laptop, and I started being that guy that played music in the background on the laptop and it'd come through my headset. It was so bad. It was so bad. Like the quality was ass. And I didn't care, you know, because I really didn't know what was going on. But I started realizing like, this is kind of cool. So what can I do to, you know, do this more? So I started going into towers, messaging people, hey, I'm streaming on Twitch. If you need help, come in here. I mean, dude, I was self-promoting like a motherfucker. That was back in the follow for follow days. So a few times, I'm not going to lie, you know, I'd see someone's Twitch. I'd be like, yo, what's good? Follow for follow, you know, what's good? And it was tough back then. I started finding out that there were LFG sites, there was mobile sites. Every time I was in a raid, every time I beat an encounter, I just went over to the tablet, I hit paste, paste, paste. I would just blast my stream everywhere I possibly could and be like, hey, come hang out with me in Twitch chat. I'm streaming. I'll help you through raids. You know, people would come in chat and be like, hey, can I raid next? I'm like, there was no raffles, you know, because I only had like 2 viewers, maybe 1. Me and Nightbot are homies. Like, me and Nightbot were homies. We would talk to each other. And I had this other bot. It was named Moobot. We were like this. Like, the messages would come up. It would just say, hey, follow the stream for more action, or for more raids. But Nightbot was talking to me. But I always learned to stream and act like I was talking to an audience. When I would stream back in the day, I would act like 100 people were watching me. I'm like, hey, yo, chat, I'm doing this, and I'm doing this, and this is why I'm doing this. And sometimes people would be like, hey, I've been here for like 10 minutes listening to you. Just keep going. Just keep going. Just whatever you're doing, just keep going. I'm enjoying myself. And I was like, all right, I'm just messing around. Speed running strikes. I used to speed run strikes all the time. I had fun doing that. And I would just keep, working hard, and it was starting to interfere with work. For the first 3 years of me streaming, I know I kind of jumped ahead right there. I'll go back. But for the first 3 years of me streaming, I streamed for 10 hours a day, sometimes 8, sometimes 12. And I worked for that many hours too. I was only sleeping 2 hours a day for 3 years straight. I barely got a third hour. It was not healthy. I was not taking care of myself. It was bad. Really bad. I drank a lot too on stream. I wasn't happy with my life. I was an asshole. Still am. But I was very rude. People that have been around for that long, they can tell you, like, I didn't put up with shit. I didn't put up with no one's shit. I did not know how to adapt my personality to the internet. I didn't know. I used to slam maybe two bottles of Crown a week. 2/5. And some beers. I didn't care. When I got off work, I started drinking. I didn't care. I just started living it up, but I did not know how to. I didn't know how to handle the internet. Someone would come in and just say something disrespectful to me, and I would just jump on them. I'd jump on them. And I wouldn't care. And people were like, Clyde, you can't do that on Twitch. And I'm like, nah, man, like, you ain't going to talk to me like that. Like, bitch, if you were right in front of me in public, you ain't saying shit. And I couldn't adapt to that. I'm just like, these trolls are getting to me. Like, they're inside my fucking head, because people were down talking me. Like, I don't care if you like me. I don't care if you don't like me. You will fucking respect me, because I'm not going nowhere, and I bust my ass, and I help this community the best way I can, and I try and keep it together. But guess what? You're never going to stop me. My drive to bust my ass on this platform is untouchable. I might not stream 20 hours a day, but I show up every day. I used to bust my ass like that, but then I found the algorithm, and I found out how to beat the system. You don't need to stream 20 hours a day. The longer you stream each day doesn't make you more famous on Twitch. It's about keeping those viewers like family and hang out and chat every day. That's it. Set schedule. We'll get to that later. Like my streaming advice to people. So anyways, I'm still streaming. I'm still doing the LFG raids. I'm still trying to grow my channel. I think I got up to 10. I think I got up to 10 viewers, and I'm like, man, this is cool. I started getting the adrenaline. I started getting the hype. I'm like, it's starting to pay off. 10 viewers. Let's go. Next day I go live, 2 viewers. I'm like, oh, cool. They just shit on you, And I'm like, this is tough. So I went into just grind mode. I started doing 12, 15 raids a day. 12, 15. I'm telling you, I did so many raids a day. It's not even funny. I grinded my ass off nonstop, nothing. And then the Destiny servers went down one day at reset. We all know what happens when the Destiny maintenance goes up. Every streamer just sits at the main menu. Well, I did that. And I looked over and I had 70 viewers. And I'm like, what the fuck? Hey, man, what are you going to do when you get in the server? I'm like, green light bulb. Entertain, motherfucker. Like, you're like a fucking puppet right now. Like, you better start. Keep these people here. So I'm like, hey, guys, what's going on? Like, yeah, I'm just waiting for the servers. When I get out, I'm going to be helping people with raids. Let's do it, And then a green light kicked in. I'm like, hey, you know what? Hey, I'm going to give away a gift card for PlayStation. You know what? If you're on Xbox, I'll give you one too. I'm only on PlayStation. But I'm gonna give away. So I wanted to give to chat. So I'm like, let's do a raffle. I opened up a raffle, picked a winner. I gave him PlayStation a gift card for $25. Then I ended up giving him back another one. I've always done giveaways because I'm like, hey, I'll just pay him to stay here. So it worked. It really worked. When I signed in, people stayed. They enjoyed their stay. I set on like 45 viewers. Excuse me. When I started doing raid helps more, this was down before, about right after Wrath of the Machine came out. I leveled up. I worked my ass off to get high level. We got the Axis, and I was the only one of level to survive. The rest of my team got one shot by the Shanks. We could not beat it day one, and I didn't have a crew around to beat it. But I actually did find a friend of mine that I actually grew up with. He's my sneaker guy friend. Me and him went to the sneaker con together, and I actually seen that he beat it. I actually seen that him and his team beat it. And I was like, hey man, my team's not high enough to beat Axis. Can I play with you guys tomorrow morning? He's like, yeah, let's play tomorrow. We'll get it. So we got it. We loaded up Axis. We beat it first try. So when we got it first try, I'm like, hey man, that's a dick thing for me to do, to go get the clear without my team. Can we pull them in one by one? You know, can we pull them in one by one and get them the clear? And they're like, you're gonna do that for them? I'm like, yeah man, you don't leave your homies behind. So we got them all clear. We did all the checkpoint. We got them down. Every single one of them got the clear. And I was like, man, I really want to get into this. I really want to get into this more. I want to get into doing these raids. So I started just grinding them out. And then I'm like, wait a minute, people need Oryx challenge still, and people need this old stuff. So I jumped back to that raid. And I was going back and forth, and I didn't know what to do. And one day I was doing Oryx challenge, and I was helping a new guy through it. And I look over, and I had 100 viewers. And this is the first time I ever hit 100 viewers. And I look over, and I'm like, why is everyone watching me? You know, why are people here? They're like, this is just cool to see you helping people. And I'm like, okay, this is dope. So we got Oryx challenge first try. And then chat started saying stuff like, you should do Black Spindle helps. You should start helping people in this game. You're really good at like talking. You're really good at throwing your voice. You're like the coach. Everyone calls me the football coach, you know, and that's how it is, you know. Everyone knows that, you know, I might say some shitty things over the 6 years that I've streamed, you know. You might judge me a certain way and say that guy's an asshole, but no matter what, I mean, I don't mean it like that. It's just sometimes you have to defend yourself, and you have to keep your guard up and let people know you don't play this shit. You know, you're not weak. You're not the sheep. I'm the wolf. You know, I'm not the weak one. Like, go find someone else to fuck with. Go find someone else to pick on, because that's what people do on Twitch. They find the weak, they find the sheep, and they prey at them. You know, I don't play that shit, and I see that happen to my friends all the time. I see that happen to my guy friends, my women friends on Twitch, and I can't stand it. I sit back and I keep my mouth shut. Trust me, if I opened my mouth, I probably wouldn't be around. Because it's sickening on this fucking platform how people just think they can get away with everything. Ha ha, hee hee, sit behind your fucking keyboard. Well, just remember, you're miserable every day, and I said this earlier on stream. Every day they're miserable and they want to prey on your downfall. Well, every day we're grinding towards our fucking rocket ship to the goddamn moon, being successful every day. So while we're out here catching dubs, you're just being a miserable piece of shit. So keep hating. More's coming. I don't know what else to tell you. Just remember that. You know, you can sit here and try and fuck with people and try and push them off and say, hey, we're going to bully you and get you out of here. Yeah, you guys tried canceling me once. It didn't work. What'd you do? You awoke in the fucking wolf. And now the wolf's here, and I'm just running shit over. So good luck trying to stop me, okay? Mike Allstott, train's coming through. You ain't got the fucking D-line to stop me, so y'all done fucked up. I warned everybody about this. I warned everybody to get me in this mentality to just push it to the next level and take things to the goddamn moon, and I ain't stopping until I get there. So keep waiting. Try again. And anyways, you know, sorry, we got to get out of douchebag mode there for a minute, you know. I started helping people with activities in Destiny. Anything I could. It doesn't matter if it was a public event. It doesn't matter what it is, a patrol, you know. I would help. I would help people the best I could. And sometimes I'd fail and sometimes I'd succeed. I was dared by chat to help 5 people through King's Fall hard mode. They said I had to help 5 people. They wanted to challenge me because when you first try and help people in this game, no one respects you. I would title my stream helping people through raids, and people would come in and they'd be like, I got more clears than you. I'm better than you. I'm like, well, then why'd you join a help post? Did you just come in here to just swing your dick around? You know? It took a lot for people to respect me over the years. So I went and found 5 people in the tower that never beat King's Fall ever. I one-upped it. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to teach 5 people King's Fall hard mode right off the bat. So I did. I went straight to King's Fall hard mode, and I told all 5 of them, I said, this is going to be a long day. You are not going to like this raid. We got to fight through it. I've been dared to help 5 people, and I know I can do this. We're going to go over your loadouts. We're going to go over your guns, each encounter, and we're going to get it. It took us 9.5 hours. 9.5 hours of pain, and guess what? Not a single person left, and no one gave up. And we got the dub. We got the clear. And I looked over again, and I seen 100 viewers, and I'm like, this is crazy. I'm like, this is nuts, man. Like, oh, man. I didn't even know what Twitch partnership was, by the way. I had no clue. So I was told by viewers, they're like, hey, man, you should start, upgrading your stream. I streamed on PlayStation for 11 months with the screen, the comments, everything. 11 months. Never owned a PC. And I'm like, they're like, you need to get a PC. You need to upgrade. So what I do, I asked the guys in chat, hey, I don't really know PCs. What should I go get? And the tech guys are like, well, Clyde, you should go get this. And yeah, this is the best deal. And get this and this and this. And of course, I ignore them because, they're coming at you with that fucking technical Timmy shit, They hit you with that smart ass fucking, oh my God, he doesn't even know the computer. I didn't like that. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to Best Buy. Where's the Geek Squad? Find me them. They know their shit. I'm being sarcastic. I walk in Best Buy. I'm like, I need a PC. I need to stream. I need to stream. And they're like, all right, here it is, man. i7 7700. What I'm not telling you is this motherboard is unupgradable. You can only put the 7700K in here. We're going to take your money from you right now. By the way, your power supply is shit, and you're only getting a 1063 gig. I had no clue. $950. I'm like, swipe the card. I'm going home. So I come home. I set up the PC. Found people to make me an overlay. Set up the Elgato. Did everything. And I went live. And I turned on the camera. And everybody looked at me and they're like, Clyde, what the fuck? We thought you were just some guy hiding behind the keyboard being some tough ass. This guy's a fucking rhino. He's a grown ass man looking like a stud. I added that part. And holy shit, we didn't think you were that guy. We thought you were just some nerd. I'm like, hey man, what's wrong with nerds, Fuck you. And it was just funny. It was funny as shit. Like, people freaked out for the first week I had the camera. I had the big Astro headset on, It was funny as shit. No one knew what to say. No one knew what to say. They just kept calling me a rhino. I remember that day. And, I had the music playing. I had the music now playing music on the stream. Overlay, I have my name in gold letters with the fucking general stars behind it, green. I got pictures of it. This overlay was just, it was bad. So what I did is I just kept streaming. I kept streaming. And I met this guy named Jocko. Okay. I met this guy named Jocko. And this guy helped me through a lot. He gave me a lot of good advice. I helped him with a King's Fall. He said he never beat King's Fall hard mode, but he had everything. I mean, this dude had every gun you could imagine, every god roll. And he's like, I can't find a team. So as soon as we launched in the King's Fall, we got the Oryx. We beat it first try. And he was like, hey man, I got a son. I got a young kid, he loves watching your stream. Can you play with him? His name's Joey T. I'm like, all right, man, let's do it. Let's play with the kid. Help his kid through the raid. And it was just nuts. It was nuts. It was hyped. And Jocko, he had a fuck you position job. This dude, he was the vice president of sales for Fender Guitar. And he flew me and the raid team out, Rob was included, to California and LA to surprise Joey T for a surprise birthday party. This was like one of the coolest things that happened to me. So he flew us all out there, got us a loft right on Sunset Boulevard in LA. It was dope. Dope as shit. And the kid walks in and sees the raid team, and he's like, hey, everyone's introducing themselves, and he starts realizing like who's there in his house. And he's like, where's Clyde? And Jocko, his dad's like, he couldn't make it, but we got the boys. He's like, go in your room and get your controller and play with these guys. He's like, all right. And I was in his room, and I'm like, hey man, what's up? And the kid jumped. The kid freaked out. I mean, he jumped into my arms. Oh my God, it's you. I was lost. I was melted. I'm like, this is tough. This was tough. It was tough to swallow. But I brought my Scuff controller with me, and it had a money overlay on it. Because I bought a Scuff. I never used it, but I had the overlay on it with the money signs. And I showed it to him. I had the clip. I have it on my clip somewhere. I promise I'll show this at some point. It's on my computer somewhere. I just have to find it. I gave him the Scuff controller, and he just did the money sign. He's like, hey, blown away. Blown away by this. Okay, the kid, we did raids with them. We had fun. I saw a chat. I'm like, yo, we're at like 120 viewers. This is dope. Because we should have been, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was dope. It was dope. I'm like, yo, this is good content. This should be, this should be known about it. And I was so excited. So we spent the whole weekend with him. We actually ended up going to Fender, and he showed us around Fender. It was a cool time. Me and Rob got hammered drunk. Oh God, we got so messed up. Like, he called his wife yelling at her. It was hilarious. That's another time for story. We'll put that on another podcast where Clyde tells story time. Oh boy. Yeah, those will be bad. Anyways, I get back, and I realized the consistency. This is where consistency hit me first time. I was gone for a few days, like 3 days. I took 3 days off, and I come back home and I stream, and I had 30 viewers. I'm like, what happened? How do you go from 100 to 100, and then you got nothing, I was like, this isn't fair. What happened? And I was like, man, consistency is that key, huh? Like, you just lose all your viewers if you just take days off. This sucks. So I just went into grind time. I didn't take any days off. I streamed for like 6 months straight. I did not take a day off. Maybe one day, maybe two. I would show up to work sick. I didn't care. And this was around May of 2017. So I was a little over a year into streaming. I was about 15 months in, and chat told me, hey, you should apply for partnership. You should apply for even holidays. And I said, I don't know what Twitch partnership is, but I'm going to apply. And I looked at what the regulations were. I think at the time you needed about 200 plus concurrent, maybe 250. It was nuts. It was very strict. They didn't play this stuff. There was no sub buttons for anybody. If you weren't a partner, you didn't have nothing. Partner with, I didn't even have anything. I did leave something out, by the way. About 3 months into streaming, a guy said, hey, I see that you don't have a donate button. I'm like, what do you mean a donate button? He's like, you should add a PayPal link, and I can donate to you. I'm like, you're gonna donate to me? So I actually made the button. I made the PayPal link, and the next day he came in and he dropped $100, and I felt bad, so I gave $50 to chat. That's how I've always been since day one. People that have been around that long, people always know. If there's some crazy stuff that happens in my chat, if there's some crazy giveaways, if there's some crazy donations, I always give back. You always invest back into your business. You have to. Because people see that you're a rat and you just collect money and you do shit just to get money. You go on Twitter and you say, oh, my PC broke. I don't know what to do. You better fucking buy a new one. Don't just count on Twitter to buy you a fucking PC. Sorry for yelling. You know what I'm saying, though. So I always give back, and I started thinking that was crazy that people would donate like that. So like I always just, I always saved up money. So if I needed a new headset, I bought it. I always told what's funny is about my streaming setup is I told myself I'm never gonna buy a Go XLR. I'm never gonna buy an Astro headset. I don't need none of this. I went through like 4 headsets in 1 week, and I'm like, this is trash. PlayStation Gold headset sucks. Turtle Beach sucks. All this shit sucks. So I went and bought an Astro A40 headset and I put it on and I'm like, oh man, this sounds great. And then the mix amp is literally sitting right here. Why is this so important? Because I was introduced to Discord. I could have Discord and music and everything into one gaming headset. When I was on PlayStation, I was like, what in the hell? This has changed my life because I had all my sound in one headset. Because before, everyone knows right now, up to this date, if you play on console and you use Discord, you got a pair of earbuds underneath your headset. Stop playing like that. Upgrade, I'm telling you. Now I'm sitting with a GsxrClyde and Sony camera and all these lights and all this shit. What the hell? I didn't expect none of this to happen. Anyways, I applied for partnership. The first partner, the first app, it didn't even get answered. They threw it under the rug. Didn't even care. I wasn't shit. 2 weeks go by. I'm like, hey, why didn't I get an answer? So I applied again. And guess what? Back then when I applied in 2017, they had a 24-hour rejection auto email, and it hit you. It literally hit you in your DMs and said, fuck you, you're not good enough. Now they actually get an email of saying why they're not getting partnered. You got a bot back then. They didn't even give you the time of day. 2 weeks later, I applied again, got denied again. And I was mad. I was busting my ass. I was hitting all the numbers. I was hitting the juice. Chat was juicing it. Chat was there. Chat's screaming, let's go. We can get it. And it was just kicking me in the balls. But I started getting deja vu. I started getting PTSD. You're going to fail. You're not going to be able to do it. You can't do this. You won't succeed. That's all I heard. That's all I heard. You're not going to make it. You're not good enough. Blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, fuck this shit. It's time to just put the foot on the gas and go. And I had so many tech issues. I remember I applied again. This was my fourth app. Remember, the first one got ignored. The other two were denied. The fourth app, as soon as I filled it out and put it in, the next day, the next stream was juice. I started, my chat bought me an Xbox. People on Xbox would come into my chat and they'd be like, Clyde, you don't play on Xbox? All right, we're out of here. Fuck you, streamer. My chat bought me an Xbox. They paid for it. Leveled the account for me. His name is I Love Feet. He leveled his account and he gave me his account. First sniper I pulled on my Xbox account, by the way, was Casket Mag Triple Tap LDR. Chat was bald. They were so mad that I got the God roll. I didn't even have that on PlayStation, by the way. You guys remember that sniper? So when I started switching from PlayStation to Xbox, I literally had to unplug all my inputs and switch from PlayStation to Xbox. My problem is I didn't have something like this. This is a rocket fish. This is a powered USB port that I could switch from PlayStation, Xbox, PC that I can use now. I didn't use a powered one, meaning it does not get plugged in. It was just something where you plugged in two HDMI ports and it would go from the Elgato to the console. I made that mistake. So when I switched from PlayStation to Xbox, since it wasn't powered, the power flick of me switching from one platform to another crashed my stream. My Elgato would shut down and I'd have to restart stream. So every day when I was waiting to get approved for partnership, my stream was crashing. My hair fell out. I'm telling you, I had hair falling out where I didn't even think. I think I saw some nose hairs. It was bad. Okay, it was terrible. And I would not wish that grind on anybody. You know, I sat there and for 3 years I just destroyed myself. You know, but again, I was only about 15 months into streaming there, 16 months into streaming. And previously, when I got denied that second time, I ended stream, by the way. I looked over, I seen my phone, I seen Twitch, I opened it up, it said denied. I ended stream. I was so mad. The next day I apologized to chat. I'm like, that was very childish. I can't act like that. And they're like, oh, you got a good reason to be upset. So I applied that final contract that I applied, that application, and I was awake at 1 a.m. to see if I got the auto deny letter. I was like, here it comes, auto deny, here it comes the bot. I didn't get it. I was like, okay. And I got an email saying we're looking into your account. We're gonna look into it. I'm like, oh shit. So I'm like, all right, chat, we gotta be on our best behavior, slaying. So I'm like, all right, we're going to grind mode, 12-hour days. Let's do 20 raids a day. Let's fucking juice it. And I remember the one night I was doing Wrath of the Machine. I'm like, all right, chat, I gotta go to bed. I gotta wake up for early in the work in the morning. I had about 120 viewers. Slayer Rage hosts me for 2,500 viewers. I shit a brick. I didn't know what to do. I'm like, what do I do with my hands? I don't know what to do right now. This is too many people here. Slayer Rage, what are you doing? And I'll tell you what, I have the most respect for that guy. That dude, Slayer Rage, was a fucking goat. He still is a goat. I love the guy to death. One of my longest subs to the guy. I think I'm over a 70-month sub in his chat. I love the guy to death. Respect him. So shout out to him. When he hosted me, I'm like, well, looks like we're staying on all night. We ain't going to sleep. I didn't go to bed. I stayed up. I did raids till 5 in the morning. Because when you get a host that big, you don't shut the stream off ever. You get a fat host, you stay the fuck on. So I grinded till 5 a.m. I'm like, all right, I gotta go. You know, took a shower, went to work. Fell asleep at work in the truck. Customer knocks on my truck. Are you okay? I'm like, oh shit. You know, all right, that's not healthy. Jack up on the caffeine, you know. And then I got an email. I got an email on Thursday. Never forget it. It was May 31st. May 31st, I got an email and said, you're partnered. I shit a brick. I didn't know what to do. They said, you've been partnered on Twitch. Congratulations. And I flipped it. I posted it on Twitter. I'm like, let's fucking go. People told me no. Turn this motherfucker up to 10. Let's get it. I did it, you know, and all these motherfuckers said no. So I did it, and I busted my ass. And the next day they sent me the contract and they said, fill this out. It's going to take a few days to get done. And congratulations. Let us know. June 1st, Friday night, we're in Vault of Glass 390. And I look over at my screen, and you guys know the Streamlabs alert where the zombies walking across the OG shit, like the original default Streamlabs alert with the zombie? It says Panther has subscribed to your channel. And I look over and I'm like, we got a fucking sub button. Let's go. Benny was second. Benny, one of my mods, he was second. He dropped a tier 3 right off the bat. Tier fucking 3 right off the bat. And it went nuts. They broke my I got a sub button in 12 hours after I signed the contract, June 1st. I had this footage. It was lost because we had to do a VOD wipe. I'm really sad that I lost that content. I should have saved it before I deleted it, but we were so worried about what was going on with Twitch at the time, we had to delete it. But that sub button was broken. It was bad. Like, my community was always different. When I got affiliate, by the way, I got affiliate chat 2 weeks before that because they dropped the affiliates. I got an affiliate and people were cheering, chat. They were cheering across the screen saying it's 12 o'clock and I'm cheering $1. My alerts were 49 minutes behind. I'll never forget that. 49. They broke my shit. Like, the community's always been nuts. Like, I don't give a fuck when anybody says we're one of the best here. I wouldn't trade this fucking community for nothing. There is no amount of money. I don't give a shit. You know, hey, we get a fat contract and we go somewhere else the community's coming with. That's the deal. But when I got that sub button, like, I'm like, let's fucking go. I earned that shit. Like, that button is yours. And then guess what? 2 weeks later, I go to GCX, Guardian Con, my first Guardian Con ever. I'm like, I'm a fucking Twitch partner, bitch. You know? I got my fucking check mark. Ego through the roof. And I find out at Guardian Con that everybody gets a sub button. Now I'm like, wait. The affiliates are getting a sub button? Motherfuck. Good for them. Good for, you know, claps in the chat. Good for them. But really, I was like, yo, I'm fucking mad. But hey, it was a good thing that they added. It was good. It was a good thing that they added it. But I'll never forget that grind. I'll never forget that moment when I earned partner and I got my sub badge and I got my emotes and I got all that shit, you know. And there's been countless things over the years that has been achieved on my journey, and I'll never forget that. So that's how we got partnered, June 1st. You know, I was doing a Vault of Glass 390, and that happened. I know that took a while to explain, but I just needed to get that out and kind of tell people how it all started. From that on out, when I got partnered, I literally didn't talk to many streamers because I was the lone wolf. It was you know, you always thought that if you made friends on Twitch that they wanted something from you, or you wanted something from them. Like, it was always some rat shit, you know, like you couldn't trust anybody. So I met a guy named James Work. He did raid helps. again, the time frame of this is all behind, by the way. Like, I met James where I was partnered, but I'm just kind of like going through it, so I'm not, you know, this is 6 years of content I'm talking about, so it takes a while for me to explain it all. But I met James. When I first met him, I'm like, hey man, you know, let's raid. He's like, enter my raffle. I'm like, damn, I ain't shit. I entered the raffle, I lost. Next time I entered the raffle, he actually pulled my stats. He's like, this guy's got 600 something clears on this guy's got 600 plus clears on Wrath of the Machine. We should get this guy in. And that's when I met Coach Doyle. He's one of my mods in chat. Coach is the homie. I've met his family. You know, I've met him in real person. I respect that dude a lot. And I watch him yoke a motherfucker up. And that's how I knew that me and him were, you know, hey, that's a homie. That's a motherfucker. You know, just remember, if your homies are with you and you get in trouble, I don't care if it's a girl or a guy. Girls, if you got girlfriends, guys, if you got guy friends, if you're in trouble and your friends walk away because they're scared of that shit, get them out. Get them the fuck out. Get them the fuck that. That's some rat shit. You got to have your friends back. Friends, good friends are hard to come by in this world, and I don't care what anybody says. You can hang out with friends right now. In 5 years, they might not be here. They might not be your friend no more. So, you know, and I was on the right with Coach, right? I was on the right with Coach. We were at phase 1 of Axis. And James is like, hey guys, get ready to shoot your turrets and kill your captains. I'm like, James, I already did all that. Coach is like, yeah, James, he's pushing up, killing everything. I'm like, wait, what? Trying to get me in trouble? But James was like the person calling out the raid, and I wasn't listening to him. I'm like, hey man, I'm here to prove my point. I'm out here slaying. I killed the captain. I grabbed my turret. I grabbed my cannon. I shot the middle captain. I shot the left cat. I'm like, hey, all the captains are dead. Your boys got it. I'm sitting here thinking I'm hot shit. Coach was mad as fuck. He was mad as fuck that he was with me on that side because he couldn't shoot nothing. I kept stealing all the kills. So we ended up beating the raid, and then I became good friends with James. And me and him, we slayed raids for years. We helped people. That shit was just insane. And James was like the first person that I started like streaming with and helping all the time. And me and him slayed it for years. You know, James, he ended up going to work for Gamer Subs. Now he's working with Steppen. You know, that dude's a motherfucker. You know, he grinds. I respect his shit. We've done a lot of charity work. We went to Comic Cons and Games Cons, and we raised money for Children's Miracle Network and tons of cool stuff. I got all those stories I can tell you later date, but anyways, you know, it made me come out of my comfort zone to be able to make friends with people. So I started making friends with other streamers. And then, you know, again, I'm skipping a lot of stuff, chat, because you have to understand that I can only squeeze so much into these. You know, we'll definitely, this is the first episode, so we'll get it going. I was on PlayStation, remember, and I heard about these Xbox guys, you know, these Xbox tryhards, and they always talk about PlayStation, and PlayStation always talks about them. I'm like, yeah, everybody knows PlayStation's better, you know. I was one of those guys, you know. And this guy comes into my chat, and he calls me a pussy. And his name was Gladiator. You guys might know him now as Mr. Glad. Called me a pussy. Came in a chat, and he called me a pussy. And I was like, fuck you just say to me? I'm like, you stupid fucking bitch mother. You know, I'm getting at him. I'm like, hey man, fuck you. And he's talking shit back. And I'm like, I kind of like this guy. You know, he's got balls. He's not a puss, you know, he's an alpha, you know, he's a fucking lion, you know, what's good? And he is a lion because he, you know, his birthday's in August. So we're a week apart. I'm a year older, you know, but again, G-Lad, you know, hey, this podcast ever gets to him or he listens to it, I love the guy like a brother. You know, he introduced me to so many good people in this community, and I'll never forget that. I'll give the guy my shirt any day of the week, my underwear anytime he wants it when I'm wearing them. Mr. Gladiator 182, yeah. That was the homie. So, you know, I kept grinding and I kept helping people with raids, and I kept doing this service streamer, you know. I'm glad I broke out of that, by the way. Everyone always wants to do service streams to grow your channel, but you literally get turned into a fucking slave, by the way, and people just want to use you. Oh, you're not doing raids with me? Fuck you. That's how it would happen. If I would tell chat that I didn't want to do any more raids that day, they'd all leave. Because I was sitting on like 200, 250. And if I told people I'm done raiding, I'd have 70 people watching me. I'm like, dude, this is tough. you know? And I was the guy doing viewer raids the day before D2 dropped. I was literally doing King's Falls and Wrath of the Machines. I busted my fucking ass, you know? And D2 launched, and I'm sitting there busting my ass still. Remember, I'm still working 10 hours a day and streaming 10 hours a day, sleeping 2. Clyde hits me up. And he says, "Hey man, we're about to go kill Callus, the fastest kill in the world." I'm like, "Oh shit, fastest kill, Callus, let's go." I join up on him. We got the boys in there, the Goon Squad. You got the Sweatsicle, you got the Error, you got Flesh, you know, Modern, the G's, the Redeem. Everybody get the camera, you know, the Animals, you know, these guys were nuts, you know, they were the talk of the town, still are, you know, respect them all. Every single motherfucker that put work into that name, Redeem, or anyone that they're associated with, they're the homies, you know. So we get in there, we start playing, you know, we start shooting the shit, you know. We're like, "Hey man, let's get this kill, you know, this is how we're gonna set it up. We're gonna boom, boom, bang, bang rockets, you know, spam, 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 easy kill, get the dub." We actually did it first try. We actually got the world's fastest kill. We didn't even practice. We just jumped up, bang, bang, pop. Got a first try, timed it, posted the video. It was cool. And that's when I met all them, and they were like, "Hey, you know, Sweat," and everybody's like, "Hey man, you should add us, you know, you should play sometime." I'm like, they're just saying that. They're not gonna, you know, because people would say that, "Hey, we should play sometime," and no, they weren't playing, you know. We started doing stuff together, and we started playing. I played with all of them, and it was just a bond. And I'll never forget that I got into a Discord call with Clyde after a stream one day. We were playing, and I'm like, "Look, man, I don't want shit from you, you know. I don't want shit. I'm not here to use you. I just want to play." And you gotta remember, this was when Clyde wasn't even partnered. But I just told him, I'm like, "Hey man, you're gonna blow up, and when you do, I'll be there. But I don't want nothing from you guys. Like, I don't want to use you. Like, I'm just letting you guys know I'm not that type of person. You know, I'm here to just game, and I want to make friends. And you seem like people that I can fuck with." And that was it. That was it. You know, still the homies to this day. You know, Glad, Sweat, all those guys. You know, I love them. But you know, Sweat and Evan and CB and all the people that I've become close with. You know, they're the homies, man, you know. Even the PvP guys now, you know, we got Frost and ZK and, you know, Pure and tons of peeps, you know. Tons of peeps just came to the Cedar Point meetup. It was just dope, you know. So anyways, everyone thought that I was always full-time streamer. They're like, "Dude, you're just always streaming. Like, how do you work?" I'm like, lots and lots of caffeine. I was busting my ass, and September 20th or September 1st of 2020, I'll never forget, you know, when was it? June of 2019, I went to sell my company. I turned my company from landscaping business to a big contracting company. Had about 275 accounts. I went to sell it. The guy, he didn't like my offer, so he declined it. In July of 2020, came back and he said, "Hey, I'm ready." I said, "I'm back. I'm ready to buy." I told Chad, I said, "I'm about to make a fucking stupid ass decision. You know, I'm about to go for it. You know, people have told me no. They said I'm not going to be able to make it on Twitch, but I'm going." And I told Chad, I said, I'm selling, I'm out. I'm out. September 1st of 2020, I became a full-time streamer, and I never looked back. And I'll never forget that. Like, chat, like people that have became part of this brand now on YouTube and TikTok and Twitch, even Instagram, OG days, and my Discord, I will never forget how chat changed my life. And I swear to you, I will always be the same person, and I'll always give back to you. You're like fucking literally the family that I know that we could become, and you know, this is opportunities that I never look back at, you know, and I mean this, you know, this is wholesome me talking, you know, it's hard to hold back the waterworks sometimes, but I love you guys, you know, and this is, you know, I'm just happy that I'm sitting here being able to talk and turn this into what it's going to be today. But this is real, recognize real. And I fucking love you guys so much. Like, you changed my life. And every time I come to TwitchCon or GCX and I get to hug people and thank them for just tuning in to my shit, that bond, I swear, like, we're fucking fam, and I got your back. Everyone knows I don't tolerate that shit. What happens when people are playing with me and someone mouths off and says something about someone that's in my fire team? I fucking shit down their throat. We don't tolerate that. I got your back, and I know it's like cutting onions, man, but I just had to get it out there and tell people that I fucking love you guys, man. Like, what you've done for me, you've changed my life every day. Every day you change my life, and I'll never forget that. And the only thing I only regretted in my streaming career is not starting YouTube when I first started out. But we're going now, we just hit 77K, and we're going to get that 100K play button. And guess what? We're going to shine that motherfucker up real nice. And we're going to look at it every day. We're going to keep moving. And that's all we're going to do. But that was my one regret the whole time of me streaming. And, till this day, I've met great friends. They're not rats. People aren't pieces of shit. They stand up for you. They fight for you. And what I've, the friends that I've become friends with, that's a brotherhood, and I'm never going to change that, guys and girls that I'm friends with now in the directory, and, the IRL friends and people that I talk to in DMs, like, that shit goes a long way, and I love them for that. And I'm always there. I'm always there to help people. I try my best. I know on stream, I give you guys the bravado look, and you guys are like, oh man, he's mean, he's an asshole. I mean, you have to check people at the door and let them know, like, they're sitting in chat and they're waiting to talk shit about you. So you just got to scare them off and be like, look, get your ass out of here. Go watch someone else. We don't tolerate that shit around here. So I'm not saying that it's fake acting, but you know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes it's me that, this is like tamed Clyde. This is tamed Clyde. This is real Clyde talking. But sometimes when people say something in chat and they say some stupid ass shit on Twitter, I just want to fucking get them. I'm just like, hey, look, you want to act like a man? I'm going to treat you like a man. What's up? Get down or lay down. Like, what's good? Most people won't know that reference, but if you do, you know what I'm saying? I beat Twitter. I beat the mob. I shit on them. I say, come on this way. You know what we did? We dominated every day. I win. They didn't like that. They didn't like that you stand up instead of just hiding in the corner and going, oh, I'm going to take a week off. My feelings are hurt. Fuck that. You fucking shove that content down their throat every goddamn day and stay winning and piss them off. Piss them the fuck off. Every day. Post nothing but dubs. Hey, this just happened. This just happened. This goal just happened. And they're just like, oh no. He just keeps winning. Son of a bitch. All right, next person. That's it. And people will do that, especially if you're friends right now. If you're friends with people and they're trying to hold you down, get them out. Kick them the fuck out. Don't be friends with them no more. Stay around winners. If you're friends or you associate anyone that tries and bring you down, I don't give a shit if it's your wife, if it's your husband. I don't care. If they try and bring you down, get that shit out of your life. Don't make the mistake. Do not fuck with it. I walked away 2 weeks before I was married. 2 weeks. My fucking wedding was in 2 weeks. Fucking walked away from it. Wanna know why? Because I seen right through that shit. And I see how many people struggle right now in today's life, paying for divorces, paying for kids, all this other bullshit. Fuck that. Fuck that. And if it's your parents, there's nothing you can do about that. If it's your parents, you just have to talk to them and say, this is me and this is what I want to do. No matter what, I mean, they can only tell you to do stuff so much. They can be like, hey, we want you to be a firefighter or a doctor. They can only shove that shit down your throat for so long till you're just like, hey, look, I don't want to do that. There's going to be a time in your life where you can sit down and talk to him as an adult and be like, look, I don't want to do the path you chose for me. And I get that. I understand that. That's a hard thing to do, but sometimes you have to stand up, and you gotta speak for yourself. And, we'll get down to that stuff in other episodes and stuff. You know what I'm saying? But I don't want to go too off record here. This is stuff that we're going to save for future episodes, mental health and lifestyle and how I deal with streaming and how I deal with the shitters and how I deal with being thick-skinned and yada yada yada. Well, we'll mention that. But anyways, back to the streaming story. What this community has become today is just insane. I know I skipped around a lot. I went from being partnered to just grinding raids and D2 and how I met Sweat and Glad and all them. But, I can only squeeze so much in because there's a point right now where I want to talk to chat. Right now, people that listen to it on Spotify and watch it on YouTube, that's why we got chat here. So I just want to thank everybody. We got about a half hour left of this podcast, and this was one of many. This is the first Clyde's Corner. We were gonna go with Clyde's Cast, but then people might have thought they were watching a fucking fishing commercial or something. And I just want to talk to chat, and we're gonna maybe answer some questions, and then about the last 15 minutes, last 10 minutes, I'm just gonna give you some advice on streaming of what you can take to heart if you're trying to get into streaming or you're trying to grow on streaming. So yeah, chat. What we got? What do you guys want to chat about? Anything you want to talk about? Here's your time to hit the Q&A. Do whatever you got to do. Just make sure you at me. So if you don't, I probably won't see it. All right, chat's not saying shit right now, so we're just going to keep it rolling. Marine Corps, brother. Hoorah. Plan on having guests. There will be guests on this podcast down the road, but I made this just so I can vibe with chat. Pineapple does go on pizza. You're trying to grow your friend group in Destiny 2. Join my Discord. 35,000 plus strong. How do I keep my beard fresh? I went and got a old man lineup today. Hot towel shave. I'm not answering any div stuff. We're not 12 years old around here. We don't care about divinity. $81.52 Marine Corps, brother. This podcast will include some D2 stuff. We will talk about D2. What gives me a drive to keep streaming? That's a really good one. So what gives me a drive to keep streaming is chat. I stream because I know that I have a fucking impact on people, and I know sometimes people deal with a lot of shit, and I know that they watch my stream and they might tune in and have it in the background just for motivation. If I know I'm motivating someone just because if I'm sitting here in my chair and I'm playing video games and I'm just trying to talk and be real, that's a plus for me. I love helping people. I like making people realize that you need to understand that you only get one shot at this. This is it. You got one shot at life, and you should not be living a miserable life. You should be having fun. Look at me. I have fun. I do what I do, but guess what? I'm starting to get on my friend's ass. I'm like, we need to start going to do shit. We need to start taking trips. Fuck sitting in this goddamn room and cooking and ball sweat all day. Let's go out, have fun. Let's go do some IRL shit. I want to have fun. I want to go. Literally, a friend right now could hit me up and say, hey, I want to go on a vacation. I'd be like, let's go. I wouldn't even think twice. I'd just be like, where are we going? I've done it to people in the past. I've literally asked my friends in the past, like, if you could pick one place to go, where would it be? And they're like, here. And I'm like, let's go right now. Let's book it right now. I'm a little behind. Pineapple goes on pizza. Yeah, it does. It does. It does. It does. How do you get out of being nervous meeting new people? Start by just step by step each day. Literally just go by going in Discord and telling people, hey, I'm going to mute, but I'm here to game. If you guys want to do a raid, stuff like baby steps. Make a to-do list. That's what I always did. I made a to-do list. Today you're going to do this. And I'd have 4 things on there. If I got 1 done, I'd be a dub. But you at least got to get done. Oryx is in the front of the room. Everybody knows that. Will I try out First Descent? Yes. Marriage off the cards now? No, I want to be married with kids. I'm ready to be the dad and, do that thing. Best way to ask a woman out on the first date, just walk up to her with confidence and do it. Stop being a puss. You get turned down, you get turned down. Just remember, if you don't say nothing to that woman and ask her, you're not going to have her anyway. So, in all honesty, you didn't have her in the first place. And if she says no, then oh well. But at least you tried. Confidence is key. That's all you can do. Thinking of streaming, but I'm not raid confident. Should I bother? Yes, you should. You can only get better, and you don't have to do raids. You can do whatever. I'm not going to delete Kidlet Orchid. Mountain, yeah, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about travel stories and all that. Neo, we'll see about events and stuff with charity stuff. Chuck Meg, you should definitely focus on using diet into your key. If you're looking to take fitness seriously, diet for at least a month or two before you get into fitness, because it's very, very annoying when you eat like shit and you go to the gym and you work out and you don't see nothing. When you actually eat healthy and you take your water intake and you actually get good, good macros inside, you're already feeling better. And then when you work out, you see huge changes. Oh, the boss just woke up. Boss man just woke up. Take a drive to Alaska. 90 days, you get out. Okay, Dust. You're waiting on them papers, huh? You're gonna get into streaming? When am I gonna fly up to Canada? We'll see. PYG, you just gotta make that. You have to make that risk. You have to take the risk. If you're scared of taking risks in life, like, you never know what you're capable of. If you want to try something out and you want to try some different job out, save up for it. Keep your job you have right now, put money away, and then prepare for your career change, so you're not sitting on your ass. I always tell people 6 months of expenses minimum in a savings account if you're trying to make any life decisions. You gotta have it though. Stream other games, we'll talk about that. Variety stuff. What made me decide to pick streaming over my other career was I knew I was meant to be a leader. I knew I was meant to be. I always felt like I was put on here, this earth, to be a leader. Because every job I've always had, I've always been promoted to a leader. I was already, Paris Island, I was promoted to squad leader in the first week. I hated it. Couldn't stand it. Fucking sand fleas. God damn it. Ooh, fucking raw. But, it's, I've just, over the years of me streaming, Chad has always told me the way you speak to people, the way you talk, it's very motivational. And that's why I wanted to start this podcast every Saturday, because it's just a place for people to chill out and realize that, we deal with it too. Everyone deals with it. Everyone's got shit going on in their life, but don't sit around and let it build up. Don't fucking beat yourself up. You want to do something, go do it. Anyone tells you that you can't do it, fuck them. Literally leave this form right here, the fucking bird right in their face, and say, I got something for you. I'll run your ass over. That's it. Hit him with the Mike Allstott truck stick. It's game time. Fuck that, I prey on that. When people tell me I'm not good enough or I ain't gonna make it, it makes me work twice as hard. And that's what I focus on right now. I told myself that I'm gonna dominate. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of choked up on Witch Queen. Witch Queen launch happened. I had 3,000 people watching me, and I kind of choked up. I'm like, is this fucking real? Is this my first big launch? And we've been dominating since. And I told myself, I said, there's no way there's going to be a time where over 1,000 people watch me every day. What's up, boss man? Mr. Thor himself. We're just getting started. We just planted the seed and we're watching it grow. That's it. And you guys can get into it. I know I missed a lot of stuff, but I didn't want to, I didn't want to overrun it so much. So I'm going to, I'm not going to do a workout stream ever. That's my time. That's where I get to enjoy yoga pants. God bless yoga pants. There's nothing sexier than a woman in tight-ass yoga pants. Sorry. I'm just keeping it real. Leggings, whatever. Keep them coming. If there's a girl you're into and you're close friends and you don't know if she's into you, you better pitch the idea right there before you get friend zoned, my guy. How do you go off on your sup without the risk of, what do you mean? How do you go off on your sup without getting the risk of written up? What are you talking about? The Browns going to be good? I hope so. I seen the Bama game today. That was nuts. I wish Bama would have lost. So now we're going to get into the point where, you know, people have been asking about a lot of stuff about, oh, he's saying like, how did I become a supervisor without being written up? What do you mean? I don't know what he means by that. I want to start talking about some streaming advice because people were asking in chat. You know, I give a lot of advice to people. I'm pretty good with representing myself. This is the new Cleveland Guardians hat that I have on. How do you argue with your supervisor without being written up? That's tough. I don't know how you do that. How I would approach that situation is that I would tell them that, hey, you know, this is how I feel about the working conditions where I'm at right now. I don't enjoy what I'm doing every day, and you know, just keep it real with them. You know, as long as you don't say anything that can get you in trouble, but if you just tell them like you don't like working in certain situations, or you don't like this, or you don't like that, you're just being honest. You got to earn their respect. That's it. And if you're working in a shit place, start looking for another place to work, because you don't need that, you know. Don't argue, just respectfully approach it. But again, I skipped around a lot in that how I got started story, and there's way more stuff to talk about. I mean, literally over the next couple weeks, every Saturday, I'll talk about different stuff. Like, you know, next week, I don't know what I want to talk about yet. I'll probably still talk about streaming stuff that happened, streaming stories, yada, 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 you know, advice and stuff. But I'm here to tell you that you can do it. The first thing you need to know about streaming is it's a hobby. It's not a job. It's not going to pay your bills, you know. I don't know if you guys heard the spiel that went on last year of how all the Twitch paychecks got leaked. Did you guys see the numbers? I think it was less than 2% of streamers make over a living salary. And they said the living salary was like $30,000 a year. There's this thing called taxes. People forget about that. This is a hobby. It's not a full-time job, you know? And you cannot treat your community like a paycheck, because the second you do, they see right through it. They will see through that bullshit and they will run from you. 30K is not a living salary. I know, but like, I'm just trying to tell you, like, don't think you're just going to play video games and make a living. Like, that's not it. Unless you're just cracked out of your mind and you're really good and you're playing like high tier performance COD and Fortnite and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? So just turn the stream on and have fun. You know, talk to people, act like you got people in chat, you know. Make a YouTube and do TikTok. That's the first thing you do. So if you do a 4-hour stream, find some funny clip. You don't even have to edit it. Just find something funny or something informational. If it's just something you did that was cool, take the clip, upload it on YouTube, and upload it on TikTok. You know, shit builds. Just shit whatever. It doesn't matter what it is. It could just be the stupidest clip, but get your shit out there. I can tell you right now, TikTok blew my channel up. We just hit 100K on TikTok. I did not think that TikTok would have done what it did. And it, you know, YouTube's amazing. Sorry, I got Thor chewing on me right now. Come here. Come say hi. But, you know, we got the wave on TikTok. You know, people know about the wave. It's you know, it's catchy. You know, that's why my name, GsxrClyde. No one knows how to. There's not many people that know it's GsxrClyde. They just say Clyde. It sticks out. You need to think of something that to make. You know, I stick out like a thumb. I look like a thumb. Who gives a shit? Guess what? I have confidence. I know that I'm a good-looking man. So that's all that matters. But yeah, that time that guy said I looked like a thumb years ago, he got me good. I was like, he doesn't make a point. It's not my fault, okay? You know. I got an 18.5-inch neck. I was just built different, okay? Shrugs, you know, Trapzilla, You know, someone actually sent me a T-shirt to my PO box that says Trapzilla. But yeah, I got my name from a bike model. But anyways, like, yeah, just upload it. It doesn't matter. You don't need to upload it. I'm telling you, you don't. There's people in Destiny right now that blew up on Destiny because they uploaded a Nightfall. They just took a Nightfall run that they did and put it on YouTube. So it doesn't matter. Just put it on. Literally, it could be the shittiest clip. Just upload it. It could be an Instagram reel. It could be on TikTok. It could be on YouTube. Get it up. That's the only thing that I regret. I regret not having a YouTube when I first started streaming, because who knows where the potential I'd be today. I'm really trying to bust my ass on YouTube. I really want my stream to do well and be successful on YouTube, because it opens up a whole bigger door. Like, YouTube is so much bigger than streaming. So much. It's not even funny. But I wouldn't trade my Twitch stream forever. And I've been asked. I've been asked to go stream somewhere else, and I told them no. You know, Twitch chat's family to me. Twitch chat is what makes me enjoy my day. When I don't stream, I miss chat. You know, and that's just how it is. But you come here. Let me get the dog a treat real quick. Come on, let's get a treat. We're almost done. Sorry about that. I had to go get the pup some treats. Yo, Coach, we were talking about you. I was talking about when I met you. So, when, you know, when you think about streaming, I mean, you should do it. You should get into it. It's a lot of fun to do. You know, right now, if you just got a normal 8 to 5, you know, 9 to 5 job, you know, come home, do 4 streams a week for 3 hours, 4 hours, you know, do your thing. But just remember, it's a hobby. You know, there's a whole different game to this streaming that people don't understand. Okay, look into it. You know, look up how to stream on console. Look up how to get audio in your headsets. You know, there's a lot of stuff. Everything's on YouTube nowadays. Literally walkthroughs on how to use OBS and how to use everything. But when I tell you there's a whole business side to Twitch, sponsorships and all that, don't worry about none of that shit. I always tell people, do not take a single sponsorship till you're sitting on 75, 80 plus viewers. You know, that's how I was so successful with GamerSups and Power GPU and other companies that I've been sponsored with in the past. I've dominated. I broke sales records. I'm still making huge deals now. I'm working on a deal right now to move to the next level. I turn down companies all the time because they lowball me. And everyone else doesn't know how to represent themselves. There's a whole bunch of streaming that people just don't understand. They get bullied by these companies. They sign contracts. They become a sponsor with them. You know, and they lose money, you know, so just have fun and don't worry about this shit, you know, like, don't feel discouraged if you stream for a month and no one watches. If you want to stream, you do it because you want to do it. Don't worry about what anybody's, you don't have to explain yourself to anybody. Who gives a shit, you know? And, you know, people will come in and say hi, you know, from time to time. And if not, it's okay. You know, you can always promote it to your friends. You can tell your clanmates. You can tell people that you know, hey, just don't self-promote. Don't do that stuff. You know, some people tried it in my Discord before. Come here. Some people tried it in my Discord before. They like actually were sitting in my Discord, like trying to use my Discord to promote their stream. Yeah, we banned them. You know, I don't care if people stream in my Discord. Just don't tell people to follow you, and don't tell the whole fucking world that you're streaming. But if you're streaming in my Discord and you're playing with people in my Discord, that's cool. I'm telling them about you, Thor, how you're the big star of this content, and the people are here just because of you. We know. I know. We're trying to keep you off camera because everyone's waiting for you. If you want to come say hi, it's okay. Why don't you come over here? Come over here. They're here for you. Yeah, see? Yep, we gave you this toy today, and it took about 5 minutes for you to rip his spine out. You rip the squeaker out, everything's done. Yep. Thor, ladies and gentlemen. See, that's my toy. You give me that. You give me that. He loves his toy. But, you know, again, we'll definitely, we'll, are you good back there? What's wrong with your paw? Did you step on something? No, I was just holding this. You good? I don't know what he's doing. It was a lot to cover. But, you know, again, this is just the start. You know, next Saturday we'll be back at 6 o'clock. You know, we still got about, 10, 15 minutes left of this one. I couldn't squeeze everything in because there's so much, there's so much to cover over the years that has happened. Good stories, good vibes, bragging about how good this community is. But I really hope that, that the start of this podcast and this whole hour and 48 minutes I've been sitting here rambling for, I can't believe it's already that long. I've been pushing this off for like a year, and I will bring guests on and stuff, but mainly this is for me and me only. I did it for me. I did it so I can vibe with chat and kind of tell people about how I get through my everyday life and share ideas and share street smarts and make mistakes and do what I can. But I will bring some friends on and we'll talk, shoot the shit, But again, I don't want to turn this into something where I count on people to show up, because I don't have time for that shit. I don't have time to be like, hey, you should be on my show next week, and then the day before they cancel. I don't want to deal with that shit. I see my friends deal with that stuff, and I don't want to deal with that. So I'd rather just vibe out with chat and tell you guys stories, stuff that's happened over the years, and we just have a good time. Because when it comes down to it, I think I have to remind chat and remind viewers why you guys tune into the stream every day. Why do you guys come hang out every day? That's all. And I just want to remind people that, I'm here because of you. Without chat, I ain't shit, And people would tell me that at meetups and live events. They'd be like, Clyde, I'm here because of you. I wanted to come see you. I'm like, you do realize I wouldn't be Clyde if it wasn't for you. Like, you made this. You made me. Like, yeah, it's cool. I streamed video games and I became a streamer, but, that's just how it is, And we got more stuff coming, man. We this is just getting started. And I'm telling you, when we take the fuck off, when we go to the fucking moon, people are going to be mad as shit. And you know what? We're going to just be laughing. Like, we told you it was coming. We told you. And there's a lot more stuff to go over. I got so much shit to go over. I got so many stories to tell, funny blooper stories, funny stupid shit that people don't know about, funny stories that's happened to me in life. And like I said, I still don't know what I'm going to talk about next week yet. Probably more streaming stuff, and then stories of streaming, and get to know me more. And then maybe we'll talk about some Destiny stuff and gaming stuff and future stuff that I plan with. And then I don't know, maybe after that we start going into the dark stories of Clyde and telling funny life stories and advice, and maybe my future goals, where I'm trying to take the stream and the brand to. I mean, I could just sit here and talk forever, so I can just keep, it'll be a point where people just tell me, all right, Clyde, just shut the fuck up, It's just how it is, man. And I'm so happy that I finally started this, because it's a place for people to just come hang out on Saturday night and vibe. We just vibe, and I want to do it every Saturday, and I want to, I can't wait for the new house. And man, that's going to open up a whole doorway of just new content. I'm going to put cameras around the house. We're going to vibe out. 2 months from now, I should be in the new house. So remember, I got that house because of you guys. Like, y'all, that's all you. Cooking stream in the new house? Yeah, we'll do a cooking stream in the new house. But yeah, like I said, when it comes down to it, me talking right now, I'd love to just keep talking about topics and stuff and more streaming stuff, but I want to thank everybody again. Thor thanks you too. Y'all some real motherfuckers, for real. Like, hands down. Again, I'm not cutting onions or anything, but y'all some real motherfuckers. Y'all some real motherfuckers, man. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart, changing my life. You've brought so much joy, cheer to my life, and have turned it around for me. I was going down a dark path, and y'all brought me out of that. And I'll never forget that. And I promise I'll try and be the best person that I possibly can to entertain you and be your friend and be your fucking friend and family every goddamn day I'm here on this fucking platform, and I won't stop. They fucked up. They awoken the beast, and it's game time. They fucked. I told people not to push me to this point. They put me to this point to fuck with me and piss me off, and now we shove it in their fucking face. Now you tell me that I can't do something and you try and push me out of the way. It's game time. We're going to put in the hard work. We're going to bust our ass, and we're going to become one of the best. And if not, it doesn't matter if I ain't the best in everybody's fucking books, but I'm the best in my community's books, and that's all I care about. I got one of the best Discords. Join it. Literally, join the Discord. All right, we got people popping the fuck off right now. We got Speed and Quest. They're just nuts. You don't need to do that. I love you guys, though. I got one of the best helpful Discords. Discord.gg/GsxrClyde. 35,000 plus strong. They're in there all the time doing help. Join the Discord. I'm telling you, people that are in chat right now that play in that Discord, their life's changed. Their life has changed, and they have more fun in this game. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. So do that. Sub to the YouTube. We're trying to push to 100K. 100K on YouTube's next. When I get that, I'll probably lose my shit. And I got to do a cat ear dance IRL. And I'm not happy for that. I'm going to put the fucking cat ears on and everything. It's going to be pretty bad. Not looking forward to it. But a deal's a deal. We did 100K on TikTok, though. So thank you for all the fucking TikTok Terrys. All y'all motherfuckers made that shit happen. 140K plus on Twitch. Subs out the wazoo. Y'all some real people, man. You know? And this is about you. Thank you for this opportunity to even start this podcast. We are going to stick with Clyde's Corner. Again, remember, I will be posting the link in chat for the Spotify, where you can find this on Spotify. I will post this all over Twitter. I will post this on the YouTube video in the description, and I will post this in my actual links as well, my socials link. If you type !socials, it will give you a card link. It's my digital card link that has all my socials on it, and the Spotify link will be in there too. So remember, if you always want to watch this back, it'll be in the Twitch VODs, but I'm going to have the editors rip this footage and throw it straight on YouTube. The full 2-hour podcast will be on YouTube, and all the audio will be on the Spotify. I'm thinking to get this, I'm going to try and get this on Spotify by tomorrow, and it should be on YouTube either tomorrow or Monday. I'm saying Monday probably for Weedo, so it'll probably be Monday, unless Weedo knocks it out tonight. You know, the guy's nuts. That's another person I want to shout out, Weedo and Merc, the editors. K-Tribe helps me with the YouTube as well, and he does work for the Clips channel. We've kind of put the Clips channel on hold to focus on the main channel. Caesar with the thumbnails. These motherfuckers created it, you know. Sweat for pushing me to start the YouTube, you know. Remember, Clyde's Corner was created on Sweat's YouTube channel. They just told me to run with it. They said, hey, man, people are liking these clips. You should do something with it. Don't pass up the opportunity. And I didn't. So a lot of people put in the hard work to make this what it's become today, and I'll never forget that. So I want to appreciate everybody listening and everybody tuning in. We're going to cut the first episode off here, and we'll see you next Saturday at 6 p.m. East Coast time. So thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next time, gamers. Peace.